Hi, I'm here in Toronto. I'm with a Canadian music icon, and he's someone that really believes in supporting the troops, Julian Austin. Thank you so much, Julian, for taking a few minutes with us.
Hey, Reg.
The first thing I want to ask you about, you've gone through an awful lot of struggles in your own life in regards to addiction, your rodeo injury and that. Can you talk a little bit about that?
The rodeo. Well, I should never have gotten on a bull, period, coming from New Brunswick. That wasn't a big rodeo. I mean, those people that, of course, we liked the rodeo. I mean, you go to Alberta, you go to Saskatchewan, Manitoba, So when I moved to Calgary a number of years ago, that I, just fell in love with the rodeo, bull riding especially. That was my thing, and I just started to. I met up with some, rodeo buddies, cowboy friends of mine, and then later on, the next thing I know, I'm getting on my first bull and cracking some ribs and messing up my neck, and then, getting on another one in another town. And then when I get back to Calgary, off the road, well, the first two were on, and my first one was in Balzac, Alberta, and then the next two were in BC. Then it was Olds was where I was going to getting on the bull riding school, doing the bulls on the bull riding school. And it was January 9th, 1999 when I got done in. So it was my 10th bull. That was my big bull riding career. And so I was after lunch and I was getting on my 10th bull. And anyways, I was brutal. I shouldn't have never been on there. It was the worst bull rider you ever seen. So I went underneath it and it broke my ribs, broke several ribs, cracked ribs, punctured my lungs, and tore a gaping hole in my leg because they were almost going to amputate at one point because the infection was so bad once they sewed it up. Right? So that was my thing, and spent a little bit of time in the trauma unit, and then got out, and then never got on any more bulls. So that was the end of that one.
And with your addiction that you've gone through in your life, I mean, it's obviously you, through your music and also providing entertainment for the troops, it's helped you provide with some healing for you. Can you talk a little bit about that? The reason why I'm asking that, because there's people out there right now who are addicted to some sort of substance, and they have massive talent. And you're a perfect example of someone that's gone through all this, and you've come out the other side.
Yeah, I mean, I still deal with my demons, Reg. I mean, to be honest, I mean, I'm far. I mean, yes, I've come a long ways from where I was. I mean, I deal with depression. I mean, I try to, involve myself with music as much as I can because I don't want to be on meds, and dealing with it that way. If I have to, I'll get back on them. But I mean, my music is my saving grace, and I try to dive into it as much as I can. But there's times where I just shut myself off from the world and I deal with other demons, and I still drink, it's not 100% sobriety, But the fact is, I was in a dark place with drugs and all that stuff a while back, and that was the main thing that's a killer to me. I mean, because I don't like. I like my red wine. Sit down and have my red wine and that. But I mean, as far as in the days where I was, messed up a lot more with the drugs, that had to stop, and that had to be, no longer a part of my life. And a lot of people would look at it that, if you're not 100%, living in sobriety, well, then it doesn't count. Right? But if I look back at my life, in jail and out of jail and, in trouble with the law, just where my life was before, the country music part of my life really started to come together. It was a mess, So it was 1990 when I got out of jail for the last time that I started to see myself in the mind's eye, I guess, of a place where I wanted to be and where I needed to be and the person that I was supposed to be. And that's where I started to work on, with my demons and that. And of course there was a lot of, I had a friend that was my psychiatrist for 8 years, dealing with me and trying to help me get my mindset around things, get, into a better place. And it's, like I said, I'm just one of those people that have an addictive personality. It's sometimes it's I find it very, very hard to be that person, because sometimes the will is not always the stronger to prevail, right? So I really have to really concentrate and watch myself, and not be, tempted by certain things and fall back into that dark void or that abyss of emptiness and just, it's not a good place. And But I mean, you know, I'm staying focused. I just try to keep diving into music and stay positive and just try to not go in that place again. You know?
Do you find that it's your family that also helps you, you know, through the to keep you wanting to carry on?
Oh yeah, I mean for sure. I mean you got to surround yourself with good friends and family, and I've been blessed to have, you know, a wonderful family on both sides. You know, my birth family and of course my adopted family, so to speak. You know, and they've been very supportive, and of course my wife. I mean, you know, I don't think I'd really be here alive, you know, if it wasn't for Angela. And I think making the move that time when I was living in Alberta, it was a really dark time in my life as well. And when I relapsed, you know, and I went in and had some, you know, bad issues. And I was with the, you know, record company then in those days, and I don't know, things just got a little bit too fast, too big, too fast for me coming from New Brunswick and just playing the bars. Next thing you know, you're playing Coliseums, you're touring across the country, you got a tour bus, you know, you're on CMT, you're on radio, and I couldn't really deal with it. I thought I could, and I was loving it for a while, but then I think it started to play on me, and I just I dove into other things that I shouldn't have, you know, indulged in the dark side of things again, and then it took a while for me to climb out of there, but when I did, I, you know, got out of Alberta, went to Manitoba where my wife's from. It's been, you know, a different time for me from there, so I've been very happy about that. And of course, I got a good support structure there with her family and my wife and that, so it's good, you know. When I'm off the road, I try to dive in as much as I can in my music and just try to stay focused and think of good things. You know?
And, you know, what kind of advice do you have for people that are just starting out in music, that they're actually going from the bar scene and then now they're starting to do tours like you're talking about what you went through? What kind of advice would you give them to want to maintain focus on the music alone?
I mean, the thing that they have to believe in themselves. You know, you got to believe in yourself. And if it's, I mean, I dropped out in grade 10 or grade 11, so I got a grade 10 education. You know, I got nothing to fall back on if my music goes sour tomorrow. You know, I mean, I'm making a living at it. I mean, I'm thank the good Lord that I'm able to, and thank the fans and the promoters that I'm still able to go out and make a living at it. But I mean, it's something that I believe in. I mean, you know, I could have been an architect. You know, you could have been a nuclear physicist, a rocket scientist, whatever. I mean, and a lot of my friends have gone on to do. They followed their dreams, whatever they wanted to do. Me, I threw everything in one basket, and I said, no, I'm doing music. Music is what I want to do. It's the only thing I know how to do. It's the only thing I want to do. And, you know, I stayed focused. And there were some hard times. There was times where I just wanted to pack it up and give it in. And I thought, well, this is not going to be able to cut it. You know, I got to go back to school and take a course or maybe go, you know, operate heavy machinery or something. So it was definitely a bit of a, you know, touch and go there for a while, but I believe in myself. I want to do it. God gave me a talent to do the music. I wanted to be a performer, you know. I mean, I used to do impressions when I was younger, so I thought I was going to be an impersonator, you know, or something, and it just turned out that music prevailed, you know. And so, yeah, stay focused and believe in yourself, and don't let people tell you can't do it. You know, just have that, you know, envision it. And then go after it, grab it, own it. And that's, you know, the industry right now is so crazy. It's changed so much. But yet, you know, I'm thinking for myself personally right now, and a lot of other artists, is you reinvent yourself. You find a way to just reinvent yourself and keep going. And that's all you can do. So, I mean, it's just, yeah, just stay the course and just don't give up. I mean, if you really, truly believe in your heart that that's what you want to do in life, then just do it. You know?
And another question I'd like to ask you, we're at the Soldier On fundraiser right now. How important do you feel it is, as a musical artist, to get involved with helping nonprofit foundations like Soldier On? You also were mentioning that you're involved with CF2. Can you share with the audience about that?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain causes that I'm very fond of and I believe in and I support. You've mentioned CF, Cystic Fibrosis is definitely one of them. You know, I met a little girl a few years back. She was 13 years old, and she was just a ray of hope and sunshine and a positive spirit. You know, she was a wonderful, wonderful soul. And she thought she was going to beat that. She thought she was going to get her lung transplant, and get on with her life. And she passed on before she had a chance to see that happen, And it was a very sad time, So I met this little girl. I just come to admire her and love her. She was just so amazing, and she lost her battle, and then so her aunt. And we started back home, and especially in like the New Brunswick, St. John, New Brunswick area. Every year we do the annual Britney Hanson, annual Memorial CF fundraiser, and we raise money, not just for the foundation itself in entirety or in a whole, but for families that need in the areas. Like maybe there's a family that has to go to Halifax for treatment, or has to go to Toronto, or has to go to Montreal, or has to go somewhere. And what we do is we raise the money for these families that need hotel rooms, in say these places, or they need to get there. Maybe it's flights, maybe it's driving, maybe it's fuel, food, whatever it is, or treatments, or medication that's maybe they're not getting covered by medical expenses. I don't know, or medical coverage. So this is what we do, and then that way there you can focus in on individuals and families. It's just not getting lost in the corporate side of things, when you raise money, and it sometimes just gets lost in the big wheel,
And that's available on your website too, Julian Austin's website.
Yeah, .com, julianaustin.com, yeah. And of course, there's World Vision. I mean, I've been involved with World Vision, and like you said, with the Canadian Forces side of things when it comes to the Wounded Warriors, Soldier On Program, military, or CBS Military Family Relief Fund. I wrote a song a while back for a program that was put in place by the Canadian Armed Forces. It was You Never Fight Alone, and they asked me to write a song for that program, and it was dealing men and women of our forces that were dealing with PTSD and OSI, as you know, and I wrote a song called Back Online. So it's just that was nice, and to see it actually go to the documentary that I watched after they did it was amazing. And so I mean, I don't know, Reg. I mean, I've been over to Afghanistan a few times, in Bosnia and Southwest Asia and I've heard tons and tons of stories from many of my friends that were over in Bosnia in the earlier years, and you were in Iran. The Cyprus and the Golan Heights, and just, just the stories you hear. And I've seen friends come back from Afghanistan that are no longer that person I knew, the way I knew them before they left. And I've talked to PTSD, I've witnessed it, I've seen it, and I can't, I don't know how to do this. I know how to describe. I know how depression feels. I know how wanting to hurt yourself or commit suicide feels. I know the dark clutches of that part of it, but I don't know what PTSD or OSI. And to see that from a friend, it's a horrible, horrible thing. To think that, what our men and women are sometimes asked to do and what they're confronted with, and to come back with, it must be a very horrible, horrible, sad thing to see. So, and I hope down the road that I can do something, that's bigger than just doing the odd fundraisers here and there. That's something that maybe I'll be blessed to have the ability to do a cross Canada awareness fundraiser for PTSD or veterans that are like yourself, that are. You hear the horror stories of Veterans Affairs. My father was a veteran, and I know he struggled sometimes with getting certain coverages and medical expenses taken care of and whatnot. And I know I haven't stepped up to the plate and done what I really, really should be doing. I think I could be doing a whole lot more, and I think it's time that I hope in this new year, maybe there's something that I can do that can, with other artists, that maybe we can start doing something to really say, thanks. I mean, we live in really the best country in the world, in my opinion.
Well, thank you so much for that, Julian. Is there anything in closing? Because you probably want to get to talk to people in the audience out there right now, or get ready for your upcoming performance at the
sound check sessions. Yeah.
Is there anything in closing you would like to share?
I just, I'm just thankful to be able to, and I'm just happy that I'm able to do what I do, you know, and this is great to be here where we are today again. And anytime I get a chance to do something around the troops and the families, the veterans, is always nice. So I feel at home now. I feel like an extended, you know, member of the Canadian Forces. It's you know, it's nice to serve those who serve or have served. So, and thank you for taking the time, you and Lisa, to come and do another interview. And promise I won't be such a stranger from now on.
Well, thank you so much. I just want to say in closing, you know, everyone out there, follow your dreams. And just remember one thing that I keep on trying to hammer home to people. Don't let anyone label you. We're all able. And no matter what other people want to say to you, listen to what's inside yourself. Because that's the biggest point. Because the only one that's going to stop you from obtaining what you dreamed to obtain is the person that you look at in the mirror every night before you go to bed and every morning before you wake up. Thank you so much. And thank you again for your time there, Julian.
Thanks, Reg.